All right, well, Kevin, you're fucking walking around. Get your ass up here. Let's go. Put your water down. I saw you having a moment.
Just to tell him about my...
What the fuck just happened? I saw you standing right next to my man, Sean. You and I have been sitting. Sean, Kevin works with me one-on-one. We've been going through a whole lot of bullshit this year. A whole lot of bullshit. Good bullshit, bad bullshit, a whole bunch of bullshit. So you've made a whole lot of decisions, and I saw some shit change in your eyes. Thank you to Sean, not because of me. God did something through Sean to you, so tell him about it. Come back a little, just a little bit so we keep you in the light. Right there. Right there. Go ahead.
As soon as we started and he was standing there, I wrote on my iPad, I just wrote silence. And earlier this year, I was with Garrett and we did the float tank. The first time we did the float tank, which is where you lay in this float tank and it's kind of sensory deprivation thing, and you just lay there and you just lay there. And I'm there for an hour. I used to be a preacher. I never heard God talk to me ever. And I just heard one word. And the word was listen. Listen. And so I've been listening. And right after that, I never got this till just today. Right after that, I started having problems with my voice. I'm a coach, train real estate agents. I talk all the time. This is right now is my livelihood. Is in my head. This is how I make my money. And it started having this problem. I had vocal cord surgery in 2018 because I had a little cyst on my vocal cords. So I've been working with a vocal cord coach, a voice coach. Now I'm looking at having to go back. And I was like, as I'm sitting here, I'm like, when Sean said, shut the fuck up and listen. And I realized I've been listening, but I wouldn't shut the fuck up. Mm. And I got to stop talking in my own head. I don't know what else that means. I just got the message, shut the fuck up. And then maybe this was the message from God this whole time of until you stop talking and listen, you will not truly be able to listen.
I just got wired shut for 6 months because I wouldn't shut the fuck up. I see it here. I want to see the teamwork. Been hammering. It took Sean coming in and being quiet. And it all came together. That's why Warriors, fuck this Garrett, me bullshit. We. And you are part of that we. Too good? Boom. Beautiful. Have a seat. Virtual. Number one, Aaron Johnson. Let's bring Aaron in. In the room. Who knows they need to share? Raise your hand if you know you need to share. Come up here. Let's go, John. Get up here. I'm going to take virtual right now, and then you come on up and grab this microphone. So, Aaron, come here, bro. With a little urgency. There we go. Just hang tight for a second. All right, I'm going to find this gib. I walked right under it. You can turn it back around. Okay, Aaron. So, what are you seeing? Talk to me, man. What'd you get from that?
Appreciation for the progress I've had. I didn't used to be comfortable with the silence. And I found myself strangely comfortable, which was beautiful. due to the daily work, right? Stacks and meditation and core 4.
All of that prepared you for what he just did. Some of you watching this, you haven't done any fucking work. So the pressure comes on, your wife shows up with heat, you can't shut the fuck up. You just want to talk. Dappy, dappy, dappy. Pressure's on with your teenagers, but you can't sit in silence to fucking listen. So what do you know? Dropping, dropping, dropping. Pressure sitting in the boardroom. You can't listen because you're uncomfortable because you didn't do what was required. And the reps that take time under tension to get you comfortable with listening. And we've not even talked about doing shit after listening. So how are we doing there with the doing part? How are you doing beyond just listening? Sounds like you're getting better at listening. How's it doing?
I'm good. I'm it's a balance. It's a balance.
Okay,
It's a
so
good balance
now,
right now.
now I know it's not what you want because of the pause and then the whatever you said next. How are you doing with your doing of this silence that you've learned to find? You're getting answers. How are you doing with the doing?
Not as consistent as I want to be. but
Okay, so
good.
you're doing shitty. Are you fucking doing it great or shitty? Which one? Shitty? Great.
Neither right now. I feel
Neither?
I'm
Just
right
no action? Just kind of in the middle action?
Yeah.
Where's the area where you're doing shitty? What domain?
Consistency.
In what area?
Stacking.
Okay. What's the point of stacking?
Pull out the nuggets of gold, right? The
Get quiet and what?
listen.
Which you said you're good at. So we get quiet and we listen, and inside of listening, we get revelation. And then what do we got to do with revelation?
Do something with it.
Do something. So if all you do is mentally and emotionally jerk yourself off in a stack and you don't do anything, it doesn't really matter. You just temporarily feel good. Nothing's going to change. Can you see this?
Absolutely.
What domain has to rise for you by the end of the year, into next year? Which one of the four? Body, being, balance, business. Which one is like, it's just the one. You're like, fuck,
Business.
this one. What is it?
Business.
Business. What's going on business? What has to change in business?
What's that?
What has to change in business?
More production
Mitch, make more money?
or results.
Make more money?
Yeah.
Was that like, yeah, motherfucker, I need to make more money? Or is that like,
I
yeah?
want to make more money. Yeah.
Okay, well, we know why you're not making more money right now. To make more money, you kind of have to be an asshole. You understand this?
I do.
Yeah, it's not fun. And if you're not going to be an asshole, then you got to surround yourself with the people who are assholes to help you make money. Now, what I mean by asshole is what? Aaron, what do you think I mean by asshole?
Conviction.
There you go. It's the same shit. People call me an asshole. I say I'm convicted. You're an asshole. You market too much. Fuck you. If you knew the shit I knew, you wouldn't stop marketing either. If you knew the impact of what I do, you would ask me to do more of it. So what's the difference between being an asshole and convicted? What is it, Aaron? It's your big moment.
Integrity.
Okay. What does that mean? Sounds like a good seminar answer, but what do you mean? Could be right. Go deeper.
The following the voice. Following what is true inside, not doing what someone else thinks you should,
Okay.
even when you're pressured to do so.
Okay, cool. So here's one of these, the challenge, right, in this game, is that the minute we step into the land of spirit, many of you become fucking retarded. So I'm going to say it that way because that's what happens. Your brain goes to retardation. Your brain does not operate correctly, and you start to talk like a flowery pussy. I don't know why. I've done it. You've done it. It's like, these are the people I spent time with who love to talk all about the jungle and make tons and tons of impact by rubbing in fucking trees. And guess what? They're all broke as fuck. They step them in the world of capitalism, the world we live in today. They're worthless as tits on a bowl. It's like I created all the power that you're getting from the other dimension, but in this dimension, you're a fucking pussy that can't produce. So, what do you want me to tell you? There's a primal side to producing in this game you have to access. If you don't find it, your wife won't trust either. What's your name?
John.
John, why would I say your wife won't trust you if this primal side doesn't come out? The side that people want to call an asshole. People tell me all the time, we'll do that. Listen, that's not what Jesus would do. I said, well, good news, motherfucker. I'm not Jesus.
He flipped tables.
Yeah, he did flip some tables and some shit. I don't know exactly what that was. I do know that I'm not him. Good news. I'm Garrett. I'm a weapon. I do what I've been called to do, which is not be nice. That's not my job. Be nice to my kids. My job's not to be nice to the marketplace. That's not my fucking job. I've spent a lot of time apologizing for that and feeling bad about it. I'm sorry. Fuck, probably could have done that different. But bottom line is, how many motherfuckers will do what I do? Very few. Sean's one. The handful that will. A lot of you in this room won't even do it. Like there's a piece and you've been called to speak it a certain way in a certain tone. You say it amazing in my training rooms, but getting you to consistently broadcast that shit to the fucking marketplace, it's not happening. We do it great when we run training simulations with our buddies every quarter, but when it actually comes day to day producing shit outside the church, we're not doing much. Not when it comes to reaching the unreachable, not when it comes to reaching the people you've been called to reach, because they don't fucking hear any of that talk. Speak unto their language, Brian. To their language, not what you're comfortable talking like. I speak to your language because it's the only way you'd have fucking heard it. If I talked in the language you were comfortable with, you'd have never heard him. So while Sean has demonstrated a gift of silence, into that silence, I come like a fucking weapon. And I have zero fucks about it when I'm in line. Not worried about what you think about me. Not worried if you're going to hit me. Not worried if you're going to fight me. Don't give a fuck when I'm in the pocket. Why? Because I'm not alone in the pocket. Who's with me in the pocket? Who? No, not everyone. Fuck everyone. God's with me. Everyone's unreliable. All of you are unreliable. One day you're on fire. The next day you're bitching because you're not getting laid. One day you get a blowjob, you think the fucking world's great. The world is great. And then all of a sudden you can't pay your tax bill. We're unpredictable as men. So the trust can't be with me, Mike. Can't be with me. If your trust is with me, you're fucked. You can align with me, but you got to trust him. If you trust him, then you can tell if what I'm telling you is truth for who? You. Or if it's not. There are people flat out, my entire role in their life is to smash them so they can go get the person they're supposed to be with. So what are you getting from this? Come to the middle. Not from what I just said. What are you getting from silence Coach Sean laid up for you?
I have a lot of experience with silence, Garrett. Spent a lot of time in and out of incarceration before I actually had my own Jesus encounter in 2016. July 11th, I had an encounter with him at 3:30 in the morning that took a 14-year drug addiction away from me. And I ended up the only one left out of 32 friends in 10 years. This is the only place I have genuinely felt not only peace, but that I belong. I've had an issue trusting men my whole life because I was sexually abused as a kid. And this is the first fucking time in my life I felt at home. And I'm hungry. I want more. I want more for my baby that's going to be here in March. I want more for my daughters that have yet to meet their dad. Because if I'm not hungry and I don't do what he's called me to do in simple fucking obedience, then all 32 of those deaths would have been in fucking vain.
You're the only one left standing.
I'm sure my dad's told you all that too.
And you're the only one left standing for one reason. Because you did what?
Obedience, because I did this.
Yes.
It started at 3:30 in the fucking morning.
Yes. Yeah.
That I can't fucking do it anymore. That when I'm in control, people get hurt, and I leave a whole path of fucking destruction behind me everywhere I go. And
Until when?
Until I surrendered.
Till now.
And what I've learned is that trauma might create monsters, but vulnerability and integrity is the key to life.
Did you access darkness in this journey to this point?
What do you mean?
What do you think I mean? Have you accessed darkness? Do you know darkness?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Good for you, motherfucker.
Like 26 fucking years.
Good. That's fucking great.
And what's...
Hey, stop. Why is that great?
I'll tell you what I told the guys in this group.
Okay, well, why don't you tell me why it's great first?
No, that's what I'm going to
Okay,
tell
good.
you.
We'll go.
Because when you can learn to appreciate the struggle, you can be grateful for who you are today. James 1:2-4 says, "Consider it pure joy when you face trials of many kind, for the testing of your faith develops perseverance, and perseverance must finish its work, so you are whole and complete, not lacking anything."
So, pause. I really like all that. It's pretty. Sounds like I should read it on Instagram from a pastor. That was great. So here's what I want to do. There's enough of those guys talking like that. I want the book of John. I want the book of John to tell me about darkness. I don't want you to quote a book. I'm not taking away from those men and what they've done, but they were no different than you. They were trying to figure shit out. They weren't special. They were men who heard a voice and who followed. That's it. They don't need to be glorified. They're not asking to be glorified. They're saying, motherfuckers, will you please fucking do what we showed you to do? Stop holding us up while holding yourself down. Stop pretending we had some magic pill. So why is the darkness a gift? Go. Book of John style.
Because when you truly fucking suffer and you can come to terms with it,
Yeah. You
You
realize
can
that
love-
you were never suffering.
and it enables you to love people with a fucking fire.
Yes. And the love that you can show them is weaponized through darkness. That means that you can get into places that with people that normal people cannot get into. You can have dialogue with men at levels that others cannot begin to. No khaki pant, plaid shirt motherfucker from Omaha, Nebraska has a fucking chance to do the shit you've been called to do. You went to the night to learn to fight. Now you're coming back out of the light, and what I don't need you to do is go box yourself up in a cupcake fucking container and try to be a little plastic happy Midwest kid. There's enough of them. I need you to bring the war to the front line. Bring the light to the night. Don't retreat to the light. Bring the light to the night. We are not for want for men to gather and clap in the light. This is an easy fucking job. It's acceptable. Sean didn't shake your hand because you don't need a hand to shake. What do you need? Listen to him. And he sent you to receive that so you could see that this requirement by you to get permission is not needed. Listen to him and go. If we agree with it, great. If we don't, guess what? What do you need to tell me? Go fuck yourself, Garrett. And I'll say, great. Go fuck yourself yourself. You'll be like, fuck you. And I'll be like, fuck you too. And I'll be like, love you, bro. Good luck. Fuck you very much. We need to greet each other that way. Stand up. Hold on. In the chat, stand up, but you're going to have to type and chat at the same time. We're going to expect big skills from you. Turn to a brother, get chest to chest with him again. Hold up. Scott, this is your big moment. This is your big Southern Baptist pastor, go fuck yourself moment, Scott. Welcome to Warrior, you're ready. Don't let him up. Franklin, do not let him off. Make him tell you to go fuck yourself. All right, listen, all you virtually, same situation. You're going to type it while you're standing. Every time I say move, you're going to type go fuck yourself. Some of you are going to misspell the shit out of this. It doesn't matter. Just type it anyways and go. Look at your brother. You're going to hit him on the chest and say go fuck yourself. Move. Move. Hold on. Hold on. John, go down there with the other John. Move. 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 All right, now hug him and tell him thank you. Now in the chat, say thank you and hug yourself up. Hug yourself up. I'm going to bring you back up in a minute. I'll bring you back up in a minute. We got a little love for John. He did a great job. 2 clap. Boom. 2 clap. Boom. 2 clap. Boom. Okay. Exposure is a gift. No matter how you look at it, exposure is a gift. Sometimes you get exposed by decision, and sometimes you get exposed by default. It's great. Sometimes the marketplace exposes you. Right? A lot of realtors, mortgage brokers, people in real estate space being exposed. You either saved some money or you didn't. Your marketing's either tight or it's not. You're being exposed. There are different conditions in the market that shift and change and expose you. I was exposed in 2008 for not being a great entrepreneur. There's going to be thousands of people in the mortgage and real estate space going to be fucking train wrecked in the next 12 months. Because they're going to find out, just like I did, they were raping an industry with rising interest rates and rising pricing evaluations and rising, and they weren't nearly as good at being entrepreneurs as they thought they were. Find out they were hustlers. That's okay. Good news is you can make a new decision, become an entrepreneur, because the entrepreneurs in that space are going to dominate. Everybody else is done. So exposure comes sometimes through market conditions. Exposure comes at times through silence. That's what Sean showed us this morning. How many of you felt at a certain level exposed as the silence kept going on? Raise your hand. In virtual, sitting at home with me, get your hands to the camera if you felt exposed at a certain level, put your hands there. Now the challenge is looking at exposure from a place of desire. I am choosing to expose myself. So I'm going to go on a unleash or eradicate your inner bitch run on a Saturday morning with all my buddies to expose my prowess at running 3.2 miles like I'm a Kenyan marathoner. and I'm going to expose myself. Vomiting at the end of the pathway. Ha, 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 ha. How far did you run? 1 mile. Ha, exposed. And then you can do something about it. Many of you are unwilling to be exposed. So you play in environments that are safe. You surround yourself with people that are safe. You surround yourself with people that won't challenge you. You put yourself in conditions where you won't challenge yourself because exposure sucks. That was a moment. Edward, to walk up, stand there, that's exposure. 5 minutes. Sean's just looking at you. I knew he wasn't going to shake your hand. A few minutes in, you knew too, and the moment was kind of there. And then Christian came up and gave you a little counsel. He's not going to shake your hand. You should probably go back to the line. It's all right. All was exposure. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just exposure. It's helping us see truth. Here's where I'm at. What am I supposed to learn from that? Edward, that's the question you have to ask. What am I to learn from this exposure that happened? Some of you sat the whole time. Why'd you sit? Some of you stood up and came to the stage. Why'd you do that? Some of you in chat were upset about what was happening. Some of you were excited. Why? Anytime life is occurring, exposure is happening. And you in that exposure get a decision. Alzar, you and I know this. Teenage daughters expose us as fathers. You're one of the first in our game to go off the reservation in a crazy strategy with your daughter, and it worked. Project Lexi. You were exposed, and you coming back telling truth of what you've done exposed all of us. Because as a man in this room tells his truth, it exposes you when his truth is more pure than yours. That's what we get to experience today. Purification through truth. Purification through exposure. Purification through the opportunity to dialogue with each other. In the chat, how many of you guys are getting this already? Type in, I get it. Sitting in that environment, just getting to share. How many of you are starting to see the exposure factor I'm talking about? Look at all the chats coming in. Look at all of you getting it. Same thing happens. This is what occurs here at Warrior. It's been occurring for 10 years. The number one protocol we are running constantly around here is the ability, Blake and Matthew Lee. Matthew Lee, good to see you. Your hair looks fucking great, bro. Fit as fuck as always. Welcome back. Love seeing you guys here. Here's what I'll tell you. Over time, whether virtual or in person, creating conditions for exposure is mandatory. You must expose yourself by design. If you wait and are exposed by default, and you are waiting for the world to expose you, you will constantly be in an operating game of fear. Versus, I'm the first motherfucker to expose myself. Period. I share shit with people I probably shouldn't be sharing. People are like, can't believe you fucking said that. It's like, nope, I understand why you say that. But in my world, one of the things that allows me to operate from deep levels of certainty is I'm not worried about you fuckers finding anything out about me. What are you going to find out? You're like, oh, I found this out. Fuck you, I put it on the Instagram last week. What else you got? Nothing? Now you, motherfucker, you got something to hide. So I can understand when I'm in your presence and I start speaking my truth, and now all of a sudden you start feeling a little exposed. It's not because I'm trying to be a dick. It's because my truth is triggering truth to erupt out of you. This is the principle. When you own truth and exposure and you stand in that environment in a conversation with a brother, your truth at a high level will activate a desire to be true in them also. This is why it's rough. Dave, when you start to realize you might be surrounded by a bunch of people that aren't as honest as you wish they were. So it becomes difficult if you're the only one. Been banging on that door for a long time. I'm glad you're here. It's about fucking time. Welcome. To all of you online, same situation. You're at home right now. You got a safe little environment. You got the couch you're used to, your desk that you're used to, environment that you're used to. You're not being ripped out of your environment to be here. These men all had to get on planes and fly here. Many of you wanted to, we didn't have more room. But you got an opportunity to choose today to put yourself in exposure on purpose, by design, by decision, I've gotten texts from a handful of men in this room, powerful men here in person, saying, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. This week, I'm going all in. These men don't have to go all in. They do really well in life. They do really great in money. They have amazing lives. They have big brands. And they're coming here saying, fuck it. Why? One simple reason. The desire of the soul to rise. The moment your desire to rise as a soul transcends your fear of everyone else's opinions, you will be free. It's not that I don't care about what people say about me. It hurts. But what I care more about is my soul being free. And my care for that freedom is up here. And though my care for what you think is here, and it hurts sometimes, and my care for where my wife feels is here, my care for how my wife feels sits beneath the desire of my soul to be free. People, how is that possible? Because a captive soul can never offer freedom to the queen. A captive soul can never offer freedom to the queen. She will come knocking and he will deliver stones to his children when they come looking for bread. And we're redefining what that means to be a man here. So you're going to talk about this to make sure you get this idea exposure. Scott, did you say go fuck yourself? Did he say it, Franklin? That's what I'm fucking talking about. Scott, I'm proud of you, buddy. Good work. You're going to be up here. We might have you come up here later and just say go fuck yourself to everybody. He's like, that'd be too much to bear. Please, don't put me up here. I just said it with Franklin in silence. It was good. So you're going to turn to somebody next to you. You're going to get up on your feet, move somewhere, just two of you. You're going to talk it up. Inside of the virtual, we're going to go 4 minutes on this breakout. Everybody's just going to quick rapid fire, like 1 minute each person, sharing inside of this 30 seconds. What are you getting about this idea of exposure? What's coming to you about exposure, and what does that mean for you going forward the next 4 days? Inside the group, on your feet, on your feet, on your feet. Find somebody new. 4 minutes on the clock. 4 minutes on the clock. Here we go, here we go. 3, 2, 1, into my virtual groups. Off we go.
We go, hug it up, hug it up, hug it up.
Like, how the fuck?
Hug it up, hug your brother, back to your seat.
Hold on, do this. I mean, yeah, we'll do it in a minute. You're going to rip your shirt off. You ready? Right here. Here, Jesse, come over here with me. I got 2 Jessies. All right, Jesse, talk to me. Exposure. Why does this matter to you?
Well, I'll say one thing, that being in this room and not being in this room for almost 4 years, the last time, is it's easy to hide when you're not in a group like this, and then when you get put in this room, it exposes you right away. Like, it exposed me probably within the first couple minutes, and you start looking at yourself, you start looking at the ways that you're hiding, and so, you know, I was talking to Jesse about just ways that I've not been exposing myself, which is, you know, coaching's great, but it also can get you to kind of focus on everybody else and not look within and be like, hey man, like, where are you not showing up in your life and exposing yourself? Being in environments like this always made me expose myself at almost to the point where it was comfortable to be uncomfortable exposing myself. And the first time in a long time, I was like, man, I'm not very comfortable exposing myself right now, which tells me that I've been hiding that.
We love that you're back.
I love being back.
Yeah, I love all the hearts and prayers from your wife who's just pouring into this room right now for you and for your family and what she wants from you. Jesse and Katie have been special to Warrior. Jesse's a trainer Warrior for a number of years and leads and trains a lot of people and has done a lot of hard shit. He was actually one of the key instrumental men in bringing God into the conversation at Warrior, which was ironic because a lot of the men that you'll meet here have been here for years are men who had zero emotional capacity. Like on the outside, couldn't talk at all, and then Jesse became the complete opposite. So, brother, I'm proud of you, and thank you for being here. Beautiful share. Two clip! Boom! All right, so we got another share, but something has to happen. This is a guy, there's only 2 people in this room, this is one of them, who punched me in the face a whole bunch of times and broke my fucking rib. Such an asshole. So, because of that, take your shirt off. I also got in trouble by his mom years ago because we made him like go swim in the ocean with us. And I was getting pictures by him. She was all offended because we were putting his pictures all over the internet. She was like, don't put my son's amazing body all over the internet. I was like, well, he broke my fucking rib, Mom. I'm sorry. Hold this microphone. Also, the reason I'm having him do that is I need a man shirt for Jesse. So one of my teams, he's fucking rolling here with Kingdom. He's not a Kingdom guy yet. Get him a man shirt. Until that, he'll just be naked man. You can't hide results. Fucker's pushing almost 100 million in business revenue, fucking crushing it, got a new baby, life on fire. I've watched him hustle and expose himself over and over and fucking over again when nobody else would. Share with him, key to exposure for you as a leader. You look fucking great, by the way, shit.
Talk about a way of being exposed. Exposure is growth. Exposure has been just a huge, I mean, thank you for giving me the mic and let me stumble on my words, but exposure has been just an avenue of growth, and it's been such an inspiring, and it's becoming, it's addicting. It's addicting to be exposed, and when you're not exposed, it's like you start just reverberating. You start just getting in a cycle of not being able to get out of the cycle, get out of your own head. And it seems like the exposure puts a dart into it and starts throwing a spoke into it so you can actually start saying, hey, something's fucked up, or I got something to learn with it. And that's what exposure is to me, and I love it. I crave it. And I was just feeling, just being in here, I love hearing the vulnerability and the exposure of it. It's addicting, and I just love it.
Now, how many of you in here knew Jesse Barlow prior to today? Raise your hand. How many of you who have your hands up, stand up if you're like, who the fuck is this guy talking all the time and doing powerful shit? Stand up real quick. If you're like, I can't believe he's talking as much as he's talking. We have watched him go through the most powerful stuff. Go ahead and have a seat. I've watched you make some of the most critical decisions in the past 8 years. Like, your life is not an accident. The most exciting thing occurred for you. You went in what we call the Freedom Protocol with your wife. We'll call it the Freedom Protocol here for now. Yeah. And you had a moment that liberated you and your wife, and you got the greatest gift that you've been hunting down since the first fucking day I met you in 2014. One thing you were after. It wasn't money. It was all these things were coming with it, and you built all that. There was one thing. What was it? And tell us about it.
It was just having a family. I got to a point, I didn't give a fuck about the money. I didn't give a fuck about anything. I mean, I was at this odd place with my wife, and I didn't realize that that's what we both wanted. And we just got brought to a level where we manifested it, and it has been the most beautiful thing that's ever happened to me. Topped it all, and it's exposed her and I together, and it's such a beautiful experience to move forward with it. And
what do you have now that you didn't have before?
I have a beautiful baby boy.
Hold up. I want you to be with this because, bro, I fucking love you, and I have watched you long for this shit for years. What does it mean to have a child?
That's the greatest gift that God can give us. The greatest gift that God can give us is those babies.
What's it feel like to be a father?
Dude, it's powerful. That's the most honoring thing that I've felt. And I love every bit of it. Every bit of it. I love changing his diapers. I love getting him up at night. And I love just being with him. And it's just so powerful.
And getting you to that place was not a Garrett effort. It was a you effort surrounded by men who love and care for you. Even at times when you didn't want to love and care for yourself. And I just honor you for staying in the fight for 7 years. Just in and out, fighting for the business, fighting for your marriage, fighting for the family, fighting for the baby, fighting for us to be the man that you are standing here today. You've been called to the front lines, my friend. We've been talking about this for 5+ years.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're now finally fucking ready. You know that, right?
I do.
Yeah. And I'm pumped.
Yeah.
And all the rooms that you've been called to fill and all the people you've been called to teach and guide, they're waiting. And you started with one crazy yahoo that you hauled in here last night, which is great.
Yeah.
Started with one.
Yeah, I did.
Where's this crazy yahoo at?
My cousin at the end.
Stand up, cousin, to the end. Welcome. Yeah, you realize who this man is? Yeah, come up here with him real quick. Can I get a second mic? What's your name, cousin? Hiram? Got it. We got another microphone up here for him? Okay. Hiram, why did you come? Why did you come to this event?
Because of this man.
Okay. And what did he say or tell you that had you decide that doing that made sense?
I have been searching. I've been searching a lot. And I've been praying and asking God to really help me in my life in all these areas. Did I know any of this? Not at all. 4 or 5 years ago, he was involved in it. And he sent me an invitation. First time I met you. And I was so damn critical. I was like, this shit's not right. It's just not right.
Pause real quick.
There's a-
How many of you have seen Warrior for the first time? We're like, this shit's not right. Raise your hand. Yup. So, most people, Hiram, they feel that way at first. Keep going. Then what happened?
Life. There's a hell of a lot of life between then and now. And in that role, I became beaten down and started just doing things, hiding from my life, not acting on the promptings that continually hit me. And even in the not acting, God was continually just saying, keep going, son, keep going. It's okay. But I would falter. I'd falter and I'd tell the Lord that I'm not a worthy servant and I need some direction. Fast forward a few years, and I'm back to this praying again and just needing something, needing a connection. And Jesse called. He actually sent me a text, and it was about this, and I was like, this was like 5 weeks ago. I was like, no. Did I want to? Yep, I did. But I had a hell of a lot of shitty obligations that I had to hit. And, well, Monday, he called again.
What are you seeing now? Now we're here. I'm getting text messages last night that you showed up, surprise attack. My teams are like, what the fuck are we going to do with this yahoo? I said, what do you mean this yahoo? Who's the yahoo? This guy named Hiram, Jesse hauled down here. It's like, fuck, Jesse. It's like, Jesse, who the fuck you hauling down here to WarriorCon? But I trust Jesse. I love Jesse. In some ways more than you do.
I could see that.
Yeah. I'll go to fucking war with this one.
I'm with you.
Yeah, you will. You're starting to. We're going to find out. And today's an opportunity. What are you experiencing so far being here?
It's great. Like,
Yeah.
it's unexplainable, the notes and the thoughts that are coming to me in the moment of silence and in the exposure and the concepts that my spirit understands it.
Yes, pause right
Feel
there.
it.
Just stop. What understands it?
My spirit,
Stop.
my soul.
Stop. Don't talk.
And I thank my God for it.
Feel and go. That's why you're here. And that's why all I had to ask was half a second. Answer was yes. Find a way. And that's what I sent the team. It's Jesse. I trust Jesse. I love Jesse. He trusts you. Which means by default, you're beginning to have a world and relationship with me that I trust you too. Now I do because of his work. Now we're going to find out what you're willing to do. You doing great so far?
So far.
So far. All right. Two clap. Boom. Two clap. Boom. You two hug it up and let's see if we can find a shirt for Jesse. Otherwise, he's going to be like shirtless all the rest of the day. Get him a man shirt. If we're out of man shirt, we're going to have to find it, Jesse. So I have to walk around and you'll be the symbol of man. You're just primal man. Here you are. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you a couple ideas and then we're going to take an assessment. Pull up my screen again so I can show you this. Here's what I want you to see. The formula itself that we're working off of is what I call the freedom formula. Our goal in being here in this experience is to find freedom. But the freedom formula is the step-by-step process that we use here to access freedom. It's not luck. It starts with the baseline of facts. This is all about our exposure today. We're going to start into that today. By the end of the day today, we'll be cleaner and clearer than you've been in a long time. Some of you, just being here in the environment, as Jesse shared, you'll be cleaner and clearer about the facts here than you've been outside, even when you try to do this shit by yourself. There's a pressure that comes from being in communion and community with other men. You will say things, do things, push harder here than you would sitting in your office at your home by yourself, even for all my overachievers. You will do more in a group than you will by yourself. 100% of the time, even as hardcore as I am in my life and pushing, there is a standard when I know your eyes are on me, I elevate even beyond what I already elevate at. Raise your hands if you get what I'm talking about. In the chat or in the virtual home, give me hands up in the air if you can see this too. Mike Lamone's eating his pen. I like it. Good job, Mike. Second piece is we're going to establish freedom. We're not going to do this until tomorrow. We can't establish freedom until we've established the facts. There'll be no vision will open up. This is one of the reasons why people can go experience the power of some very powerful tools that we have found, and you can go experience all those powerful tools you want, and not a goddamn thing is going to change about your life. You can take them every day, and nothing's going to change. Because change comes inside the weapon. Revelation is access through the medicine, but it's in the weapon that results show up. Permanently, consistently, over time. Just feeling good is not freedom, because that feeling will leave. So our goal is to establish this base then of our facts and our freedom, and then push beyond this to a focus. Focus allows us to see, here's what I need to do next that I can see in the gap between these two places. The gap between my facts as they are now and the freedom I've qualified myself to envision. Here is where I'm at. Here is what I conceive myself possible to be. Focus is what I see in the middle. What do I need to focus on in the gap between these 2 points? My last piece, fire. Fire is what do I need to do now? What needs to happen now? What do I need to do now? In the next 7 days, what has to happen now? That'll be our last hit. Getting real fucking clear about what has happened from here going forward. No dancing around, not here, I've got this big place I'm going to. We break it down to the focus, and then inside the focus, into the fire. 4 simple stages. Facts, freedom. What's the next one? Focus, and give me the first one. Second, third, fourth, first, second, third, fourth. In the chat, type them in. Here we go while they say them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn to the person next to you, explain them real quick, these 4 real quick. Like, in the chat, go ahead and give me some chats up in there. I want the one, give me number 1. Type in facts, here we go. Type in facts. Give me facts, give me facts. Number 2. Number 2, give me freedom, give me freedom, give me freedom. Good. Number 3, give me focus. Give me focus, give me focus, give me focus. And number 4, give me fire. Fire, fire, fire up in the chat. Well done. Okay, your software is where we're going to go next. In order for us to begin down this path, we're going to go through an assessment. This assessment is going to expose you. Some of you have taken this assessment before. Some of you have never taken this assessment. Either way, wherever you are now, our job is to go through and answer a series of questions. Pull up your devices, your iPads, your laptops, whatever you're using, and you're going to head to the following. Keep my screen up so I can show them. You're going to log in your software. Get your software open. If you got software open, once it's open, go ahead and raise your hand up in the air. Once it's open, good. If it's not open yet, go ahead and get it pulled up. In the chat, if you've got yours pulled up, give me virtual in the home. Give me your hands to the camera so I can see that you got it ready to go too. What's up, Chris Wilbright? Good to see you, buddy. Mike's right there by it. Travis, what's up, Travis Atwater? Okay, when we come here, we're going to come to the game. You click on the game, that's going to open it up here. Once we get to the game, you've got a series of different sections. We're going to click on fact maps. Once you click on fact maps, over to the right side, you're going to see assessments. You're going to click on that assessment, you're going to open it up. It'll automatically populate some data into it. So let that data populate in and click create. Once you do that, you will see these boxes appear on the right side of your software. Perspective, power, production, and protection. We are going to be taking the power assessment. Click on the power assessment. If you've already taken the assessment before, great. It's fantastic. You get to take it again. This is a self-explanatory assessment. We're going to give you 20 minutes to take it. During this assessment, you're going to be answering the questions based upon which range best describes your reality today across body, being, balance, and business. There's no sideline conversation on it. There's no talking about it with anybody else. You're just going to answer the questions for yourself. Where do I see myself? At the end, we're going to get a ranking. That ranking itself is going to sit. You see on our scoring, 1 through 12. By the time you get to the very end of these conversations, you'll have a score sitting between 0 and 96. Turn to the person next to you real quick and explain what you're going to be doing. Turn to them real quick. Turn to the light in the chat. Type in the chat what you're going to be doing. Anybody have a question in the room about what you're going to do? Raise your hand. Keith. It won't create your assessment? Invite your best friend to your party. He's the only fucking guy that fucks up the software. Just kidding. Okay, Weston, we got some help over here. If you need help with your assessment, go to the back with Weston. If you ever having a problem with it, go there. If you're in chat, take it over and figure it out. The rest of you, online, if you got a problem also, you're going to need to tap that in the chat, and we'll start giving you support on it. You go in, I'll remind one more time. You're going to come into the game. In your software, you'll click on fact maps. Once you click on fact maps, you'll click assessment, and it will populate a new assessment. You'll click create and it'll create another one. So if you've already got one, it'll create a different one for you. Just a little refresh and we're good to go? Okay, perfect. You know what's fun? You know what's fun about this? I was at the ClickFunnels 2.0 software launch, and I said, how's it going? I just got in there to speak, and they were like, didn't realize it was going to be that difficult to get 15,000 people to just log into the software. I said, yeah, that's how it goes. We're going to change the world, gentlemen. We just got to figure out how to get everybody into the assessment. It's not a big thing. You know, we're going to set some big visions tomorrow about how we're going to conquer the world. Today we're just going to try and get 150 guys in the room and another 800 online just to open up the app correctly and take an assessment. So I think we're real fucking close to changing the world. We're real close. Real close. Keith, I appreciate your hair there. Nice. Refresh. Appreciate you. Namaste. Okay, everybody good. Gentlemen, you got 20 minutes. Put 20 minutes on my clock. This assessment is yours. Give me some music. Keep a little inspired here as we go through it. Assessment is being taken. Again, if we're on the desktop, you can do it. Type it in. Our teams will be helping with chat. Inside the room, you guys are off you go, off you go, off you go. 20 minutes.